Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this file. I have no clue what it's actually for, but I'm going to turn off the print layer or just hide it. And we have these green lines that are not going to be cut all the way through. But if we look at the cut order, if we start down at the bottom, it's all over the page and it's going to take a lot of time. So it's cutting that one. It is going down there, but see, it's all over the page and it's just going to take forever. So I'm just going to redraw it. And for the one I'm doing it for, I've changed your deal to inches. I'm going to change your nudge factor to 50. And I'm going to make a duplicate of that and move it out of the way. And then I'm going to, basically I'm going to I'm going to make sure that's a group, and it is. So that way I can move it out of the way later. I think the best thing to do is just redraw it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a 2-point line. I'm going to go from that node all the way down to the bottom and stop on that node. And I'm going to make that line dark blue so we can see it. Should have just been my line. Okay. You know what? For just a second, I'm going to show you a little bit thicker. Well, my line didn't go all the way down. I didn't have, it probably did that because I couldn't see. I had to zoom down. So let's just go from node to node. It's easy enough. And I'm going to make that line blue. Now I know that it's 0.13 across, but I'm going to go ahead and delete these lines and hopefully they'll stay. And this is going to save a lot of cut order, I think, in theory, because we're going to make the first line first, and then we're going to duplicate that line over, and that line's good. Now we have this line, it's still grouped together, and I'm going to change my nudge factor to 1.13. Well, and also change your duplicate distance. So I'm going to grab that line, I'm going to hit the plus key on the keyboard, and then Control D. There's that part. And I would do it all the way across. Now, if you remember, this is grouped together, so well, I thought I grouped it together. That's going to be a bad thing, but I didn't group it together. If I would have grouped it together, I'd be a lot ahead of the game. Let me back up here. Sorry about that. I thought I grouped it together. And I'm going to take that line, I'm going to keep that line. Now I'm going to group this together. Control G. And see, my lines are still cut. So that's what I'm trying to show. And it's going to, granted, it's going to take a lot of time. But if you're going to do more than one of these, it'd be worth it. I'm going to hit the plus key and I'm going to go all the way across. Now you could probably, well, I didn't. The lines are so thin I can barely see them. So what I wanted to show, I'm going to change my nudge factor to 50 inches again, and I'm going to nudge this up. So here's now our new cut order. If we got to select it to see where they're at. Well, where is it at? I'll tell you what, let me select them all. There they are. Okay. Here's going to be the cut order. It's going to cut that one. It's going to cut that one, cut that one, cut that one, all the way down. So that'll be pretty quick. That'll be pretty good. Now I've got them, I'm going to group them together, Control G. And because we've got it set on, you know what, I must have not have grouped any of that together. And I've still got my nudge factor set on 50. I'm going to move that over. Now, pretty much by hand, you're going to have to grab the blue layer and Control D and move it and put it right there. Now, we might be able to go Control D, and we can. Okay. Now we have all the lines, and what's the cut order? Okay, I grouped them. Let's ungroup them. And let's get the cut order. Let's get that very first one. It'll be at the bottom, and then let's go uphill. See, it's going to cut those in that order, all the way across, saving time, and so on. I'm not going to do the other side, but I do want to address these other lines. So I would do the same thing. Now, the only difference is that they were 1.13 wide. And whenever you measure something with a parallel dimension tool, hold down the control button. That way you're perpendicular. So we're 1.25 that way. So you're going to need to change your nudge. Now, the only thing about this is I'm going to ungroup this for a second. Well, you know what? I must have not have grouped it. Let's move that. Well, it's in a group. Okay, I can freely move stuff and then not worry about it. I didn't lock it. I don't know why. Let's just use this one. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, that has my blue line on it. We can take that away. But if I take that and go Object, Group, and Ungroup, what I want to do is get rid of the greens in this. So here's a good, the other ones are in a different layer. So if the greens are in this layer, wow, there's a lot of greens. I can grab that green, and you can see it says green here, and hold down the Shift key. I don't know if this will work when you're doing it this much. It did it. Control G to group them. Move them out of the way. Okay, what's my nudge? My nudge is 50. Okay, get rid of my blue line. So once he's done both directions, you need to do something about this, because this is still gonna, it's not as big a deal, but the cut order on this is that line, that line, that. You know what? That's not a bad cut order. I wouldn't mess with it. So once you've done the blue lines on both vertical and horizontal, just use that pattern right there. And I was thinking these lines were actually broken up. And I would love to take the time to finish it, but it's the same, exact same thing. Well, you know what? I'm missing a blue line. I did that. I grabbed it up. So that's easily fixed. Changed my nudge factor to 1.13 and grab. I must have grabbed that blue line and we saw it earlier. And then make a duplicate and move it over. There's our blue line. So once you do the horizontal, I think you're good to go. Because that way it'll cut all these and then it should, so start from, the top and work your way down. The only other thing is time is where it's going to start. And that's, going pretty far. Like both arrows are going down. So it's going to start right there and go down and then come back up. So one thing you could do, if you're going to do more than, if you're going to do a bunch of these, you could take these lines and select them and reverse the subpath. Let's just do one, because this is pretty heavy. Right click and reverse subpath. Then that way, to save the best laser time, it's going to cut this one starting here and going down, and then it's going to cut this one coming up. So the laser is going to go down and up instead of going down, 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 down. So this is wasted time when the laser, newer lasers do that transition a lot faster than older lasers. So that's just another thing you could do. And it wouldn't take that long to do every other line. Anyway, that won't be helpful to too many people, but I hope it helped him, and thank you for watching.